For dinner tonight, I'm making homemade chicken and dumplings. For that, you're going to need a large package of chicken thighs. And this one is 4.36. I just went ahead and got the boneless, skinless, so I don't have to debone them. I just cut them up into chunks. We buy the 5-pound boneless, skinless chicken breasts. So I just pulled 2 or 3 out of this and got 1 package of the chicken thighs. Just chunked them up and you boil them for an hour and a half. I love bone broth, so I use this to make my chicken broth. So yeah, I just follow the directions. This makes 14 cups. And that's about the amount that you're going to need for boiling the chicken in. While the chicken is cooking, you mix almost all of this jar with 13.5 cups of water. And you leave about 1/4 of the jar, so about up to this label. If you wanted to add more water, then you can use the whole jar, which is what we did. The recipe calls for all but 1/4 of the bottom of the jar. And the recipe is out of the head of a friend of ours back in Texas, Mr. Coy. You've seen him on another video, but his instructions include, I got a cup this size and I dump 3 or 4 of them in here and I do this and use 3 handfuls of this. And he has rather large hands, so if he uses 3 handfuls, then I use 5 or 6. So, but anyway, you get your water and you dissolve the Better Than Bouillon in it. So we used 14.5 cups and we used the whole jar. But this is gonna sit and it's gonna simmer. And then once the chicken is done, then we will bring it to a boil and we will put in our dumplings while we are shredding up our chicken to go in with our chicken and dumplings. It'll be pretty soft by then. I'll continue with the steps and when we get to that point. So see you in an hour and a half. Alrighty, the chicken has boiled for an hour and a half. Now we are going to get the chicken out and let it cool so that we can shred it up. I have already skimmed the fat off of this boiled chicken. Chocolate is at my feet, praying for me to drop some. Really, buddy? You do not want this. It is too hot. Alrighty, now to let all the chicken cool for a little bit while we make our dumplings. Okay, yes, I know how to make dumplings myself, but Mary B's makes an excellent dumpling, and you get it at Walmart. And for like $3, you can get 1.5 pounds of dumplings. And it's just too easy to use this instead. And it comes like this, and then you just divide them into 3s or 4s and drop them into your bouillon mixture that's been sitting in the crock pot all nice and hot. So let's get that done. You leave them frozen until you put them into your mixture. Sometimes with the frozen noodles, can't get them apart, so just take a knife, tap it on each end, and your noodles will come apart in one sheet. Then you just break it apart, stick it in the broth. Now we have all the dumplings in the bouillon, and we are covering it in the crock pot, and we're going to cook it for 45 more minutes. It's a long process. Now we're going to shred the chicken. Easiest way I've found. Good old-fashioned fingers. Chicken is cooled off, by the way. And you're just looking to get not completely shredded, but chunky enough bite size so that you get a bit of chicken in every bite. Do a close-up for all beginning cooks. Everybody has to learn and start somewhere. Hey Butch, Chocolate doesn't like the cat being at the back door. It's okay, Chocolate. Mm-hmm. Enough, Bon. He's a little on the jealous side or possessive side. I'm in here with chicken, and he thinks that the cat's going to come in here and get some of the chicken. He says, my chicken. You don't get any, you gray blob. There. Meow. For the rest of you with spoiled dogs just like mine, watch this. Hey, do you want some chicken? He's old. He doesn't have very many teeth left. So the noodles all clumped together. The crock pot wasn't getting a good enough boil going, and they all settled to the bottom. He always serves it in a crock pot, so for some reason I thought that that was how he did it. But when they all started clumping together, we found out that he would, you put it in a stock pot, and so dumped all the juices in here, then started peeling apart the dumplings because they all, like I said, they all stuck together and clumped together. So they're all separated now. Put the chicken in so that it can absorb the flavors, and it will all be ready in about 21 more minutes. So that more than definitely fixed it. Boil the bouillon on the stove and add your dumplings from there. Add your chicken from there. If you need to, move it to a crock pot to keep it warm for a gathering or something, then do that after it's all done. Crock pot does not get hot enough to boil and cook the dumplings. So, here we go.